What's up, Junkie fam? It's Jay coming at you with another ICO review video, and today we're going to be talking about PlayUp, PlayChip, whatever you want to call it. It's essentially a huge-ass gaming network that has recently, in the last 60 days, started an ICO that I don't think a lot of people know about at all. I came across this little gem through a friend, and I wanted to talk to you about it. So before we talk about that, let's do a quick recap on what's going on in the ICO space. What we're noticing is very much like dire warnings were telling us in February and March that upcoming regulation will affect the market, and a lot of people thought that it would affect the ICO market negatively. Now, I don't know if I can concur with that, but the thing I will say is here we are at the end of June, and there's been a lot of big projects launch out on the exchanges this month in June, and they did not do as expected. Some of them losing up to 90% of the initial coin value cost. One of the things that immediately stuck out to me was, in this crowded space now with way too many ICO projects, it would make sense to pivot my strategy into platforms that already have an existing user base. They're not looking to raise funds for the ICO to actually start the platform. They have an existing platform, an existing product, and they have marketing behind them, because as with anything, marketing sells it. And anybody who's telling you differently in the crypto space, I think that they just don't like marketing, and so they're like, oh yeah, marketing is a scam, or it's stupid, or it doesn't work. What worked for Bitcoin will not work for other coins when there's over 1,700 other coins on the market. It's not so much as easy as just like push it out and the best one will be adopted anymore as it was before, right? So this project is all about, this is an existing platform. I'm going to go through kind of the quick bullet points with you and some of the leading up to where they're at right now. And then I'm going to cut and pull up a new set of tabs because I didn't want 50 tabs open. And then we'll go through the pitch deck and we'll go through the white paper one pager. Okay, sound good? All right, so let's start it off. PlayUp is the company. PlayChip is the trademark. PlayChip is the universal token that's going to be used on their platform, which their platform has been growing since April. All I did was a quick back test and search through the PR releases and a lot of the news hitting mainstream media to see where they've come in just this short amount of period. So let's take a look there. Let's start there. The first thing is that you'll notice there's not a whole lot of people talking about this in YouTube. Like, just look, there's nothing. A lot of these videos have nothing to do with PlayUp. So there's maybe 10 videos on PlayUp right now. Crazy, right? Next, the PlayUp platform deals with the NRL, which, if you're not familiar, if you don't have friends that live in Australia, it's basically rugby league, National Rugby League, okay? So that's like that's their football, essentially, right? So a lot of people in America don't know that. But the NRL is effing huge. And what I mean by huge is people go nuts over this. You know, so much so that at every spot, like even here in Asia that you go to that has a large concentration of Australian people, you will go by the sports bars and they are playing NRL. They're also playing not just rugby, they're playing soccer or football as well. But yeah, NRL is big, needless to say. And so the rabbit holes, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, rabbit holes, not versed on this side of sports at all. But anyways, this is a team out of South Sydney, and they're doing something very, very differently. 15 out of the 16 clubs have just one major sponsor for the jersey. They have a sponsor for the home and away jerseys. And what's happened and what's significant play that came through, I don't know when, a lot of this news hit in April, so I think this was around in April, but essentially PlayUp came on as the only sponsor for the shorts. PlayUp is now the dedicated solo sponsor for their shorts on home and away games. That's big. So if we look at like a swarm effect, right, and the everywhere effect, which is easier to do nowadays with news, with social media, but still takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of like articles and quality pieces and quality newsworthy stuff to talk about. They've done a remarkable job at a swarming effect that people really haven't caught on to yet. So okay, we're essentially just going to be analyzing April here. PlayUp placement on the shorts, getting millions of hits, millions of views through the actual live game itself, through the replays, through the syndication on all the sports networks. They're talking about it. I'm sure it's had some little feature segments, maybe not on your ESPNs, but on some of your other rugby league channels throughout Australia. I am sure that there has been mentions of this hitting through April. I just couldn't find it. But when something like this happens, it is mentioned, just not on a big scale in news networks, okay? So 2 more acquisitions we need to talk about to build us up to today, which brings us all the way down to this section here. Draft Stars is the first one. Draft Stars, they accumulated 100,000 users, over 100,000 users. This happened in April. I don't know what the revenue was for Draft Stars, and I couldn't find it, as well as Top Beta and what was the other one? Madbookie.com.au, I think, were the other two, and I couldn't find data. I just don't think it's public, or maybe I have to buy a reporting service and I didn't. But essentially, these buyouts a lot of these buyouts, well, 3 of them have happened in April that I could dig up. And so here's the press release for the first one, and these are significant for a few reasons, and I'll talk about that. So Draft Stars was another big competitor in Australia in the sports betting arena, right? In the fantasy arena. It's just a good play as a business when you go and you start accumulating other big players in the market. So we can assume maybe they had PlayUp had 300,000 users at this time, or maybe even 400,000, which is what they claimed before they bought out Draft Stars. So now they're over 500,000 users. PlayUp was already showing annual turnover of over $200 million. So they picked up these 100,000 users. They're in over 70 countries. They're actively serving 70 countries right now. And I'll talk about why they're deciding to tokenize the platform in just a couple minutes. It was a good match. It was a good blend. PlayUp at this time had only 27 full-time employees located in Melbourne. It's not just a remote office. They actually have their physical location there, which in an era when most people are running ICOs through UK and through Malta and through all these other countries, they are licensed and operating 100% in Australia and running the ICO out of Australia, which I think, 1, takes a lot of balls, but 2, shows that they're registered from any kind of securities, commodities, betting, gambling arena, and they're not afraid of what's about to come out in Australia. I don't know if that's because they have interconnections. We can only make assumptions there, and that's pure speculation, but they are sunk in deep in Australia, and they're not going anywhere for the time being, which I think is really, really exciting. They announced on April 9th that PlayUp has agreed to merge with Mission New Energy Limited, which is going to get them on not only the NASDAQ, but the ASX, which is the Australian Stock Exchange. And so now through not Draft Stars, but through their other acquisitions, Top Beta Holdings Limited, which is TBH ticker, is already being traded on ASX. We can see that, which we can see here. Okay, so we can see that Top Beta TBH, yes, it's getting traded right now on the Australian Stock Exchange. This is big. This is so big that I just think a lot of people are missing this. Looking at a 5 million revenue, up 349% in revenue year to date. That's exciting. So, okay, into the Australian Stock Exchange now, looking to get into NASDAQ with this other partnership that's also referenced in here, which is with this Mission New Energy Limited. I will tell you, I've not looked this up yet. Actively being traded though, and this gets them into NASDAQ. Right there, 3 key plays, gets them another 100,000 user base, which we didn't even see. I couldn't even dig up on the other 2 acquisitions on what that would bring them user base wise, but now it's going to also get them on stock exchanges. Again, I hope you're starting to see the gravity of this. The part that I missed about the rabbit holes, it's owned by Russell Crowe, the actor, so the team, so pretty cool. Big play, gets them kind of in with him, I would assume. And so as this platform starts to grow, yeah, I see that as being another kind of silver bullet in their pocket. So let's just recap really quick here. We have a emerging gaming platform that is taking over in Australia. They've just secured a huge sponsorship deal in their niche market. They have accumulated and scooped up 3 since April, market 3 different businesses, with getting them now access to the Australian Stock Exchange and soon the NASDAQ, which is, you know, American-based stock exchange. And right now they are going towards PlayChip and moving towards PlayChip, which is decentralizing their platform. So why the hell would they do this? Like, who cares? They're crushing it. They don't need this money. Why are they doing an ICO? They're doing an ICO because they're active in 70 countries and they're having massive problems with actually paying out rewards to people. In India, we have PayPal issues all the time, banking issues. Okay, sweet, let's pay out in crypto. Oh, wait, but India is now blocking crypto to the major banks. How is this going to work? How do we make this work? This is the answer. And what's unique about this is this reminds me very much of like the bigger platforms, off the top of my head, Telegram, that had an active user base and they just wanted to tokenize the platform to build out functionality. It'd be similar like if Facebook did it, but Facebook already kind of has their own digital currency right now. That's why they're doing it, to essentially be able to grow to the next level, but not from a like, hey, help us build out the platform. the wallet and exchange, all of that, it's going to have its own wallet and exchange built in to the platform itself, which is just amazing. So you're going to have all the normal components, which is the esports, racing, fantasy, sports betting, casino action, earning through referral, and spreading the message, and then you're going to have the exchange piece. Their goal is to actually get it used as a universal playing chip, not just on their network, which I would assume is why they trademarked PlayChip, which is a good move. It's a good call. To add further great news to what we just talked about, I clicked on this and now let's talk about it, is that they just won the Draper's Hero Choice Award in San Francisco, which was literally like 4 days ago. And so they're riding high right now. Because so many people are now telling them like, hey, you're sitting on something really, really good here, I think they've kind of changed their strategy. So if you look at the PlayUp videos, the insider information and insider detail that's talked about in these videos from like a month ago was the fact that they were giving away a 50% discount or bonus, which you see is now gone. It's down to a 30% over the next 9 days, and then it will reduce again. So they were doing a 50% bonus, and like a bunch of people told them like, hey, stop doing this, because they didn't know, they didn't care. And the coins are only at a penny right now, by the way. So do the math on that. And I'll tell you a little bit about, you know, what I plan to accumulate and stuff like that at the end of the video and what I've already accumulated. But 30% bonus reduces in 9 days essentially. And right now it's a penny. So it's like a half a penny to buy the coins. That was the big insider intel. Once they started getting like more people in the crypto space talking to them, they realized, hey, this is probably a stupid move. We're going to remove this. And they removed that, I believe, at the end of May. There was a couple days of time there, and then they got rid of it, okay? So I'm sure you're starting to see like the uniqueness of this coin offering. Very, very different than what we've seen. And I'll link this stuff underneath the video in case you want to go through and research this. And obviously you want to do your own research on your own. But yeah, here's just a summary again. 500,000 existing users, 6 active summer sports and sports betting platforms integrated with the PlayChip. And how easy will it be for them to go and attack other similar business models that they can't necessarily or don't necessarily want to buy out, but want to use the PlayChip to raise value to actually become more worthy and valuable? Be very easy. Now with this recent article, their turnover is estimated to be 430 million this year. Big news. Okay, let me pause and get reset with all these tabs, and then we're going to talk about the white paper, slide deck, and just kind of wrap up, and I'll talk about how much I'm actually planning to accumulate roundabout. I don't want to give exacts, honestly, but we'll talk about what I plan on kind of doing with this one, and then give you the rest of the information on how you can get involved yourself. All right, so give me just a sec. Okay, so welcome back, and let's go ahead and further delve into this ICO, which, by the way, I hope you guys like this style of me doing ICO videos. I've been making some changes with how I want to be talking about these projects. If you like this video so far, take a second, smash the like button, place a comment, let me know what your thoughts are so far, but let's go ahead and wrap up this video, yeah? So looking at the one pager, which they just updated this. So we've got the data, 430 million turnover, 500,000 users, 6 platforms, 70 countries, Heroes Choice Award. They're also runner up in the Whale Tank ICO award, which I didn't know. I don't even know what that is, to be honest. Some good metrics to look at is the average session time is up to 11:22. When I first started looking at this, it was over 10 minutes, but now it's 11:22. So the average user session is going up. From an analytics standpoint, that's quite high. That's really high, actually. Projected users, 2 million plus by the end of Q4 for 2018. Because who knows what else they've got up their sleeve. And we're going to talk about more of that in just a second. So the seed ICO is done. The pre-ICO is running right now until the 26th of July. So we've got a whole nother month for that. And then the ICO itself will be August 8th till 9th. That'll by far be the most expensive time to get in. And then they list out on exchanges August 23rd. They're already looking at LA Token and HIT BTC. HIT BTC, you guys know I don't really love that platform, but it is a big platform, meaning users and volume. Every single day you look at those coins and they're getting volume, okay? So August, when you can start to kind of cash in and see this thing get some legs, okay? We're in the end of June, not bad, 60-day window. One thing I didn't mention is that they've got some great ambassadors on board, AFL League, another rugby league, and then Cricket League. So They're probably going to keep pushing the ambassador part, but the team itself, which we haven't even talked about the team. Let me get rid of this. The team itself, you can go check out. They're not fake. They're not fake Instagram profile or LinkedIn or brand new. They're actually seasoned LinkedIn profiles, and the guys behind the company and some of the advisors, I'll talk about a couple of them. But one thing I wanted to mention here is that right now you can actually pay with PayPal, with United States dollars, with your bank account to buy in this ICO. There's not a lot of ICOs that are offering that. 1 penny, again, is what I believe you're buying in. Yeah, you're exchanging in right now to buy in to this. Like I said, you can pay with credit card or PayPal right now to buy your tokens. If I were to click buy now, it gives you the option to pay. Because again, this is a fully integrated sports betting platform, gaming platform. We're gonna talk about allocation in just a second. Daniel is a great guy to look at. Go ahead and take a look at him, the leadership team, and on the advisory board, Dr. Steven Savannah. So the first guy I want you to look at is Steven Savannah. He is balls deep into crypto, not crypto per se, but blockchain technology. He is a co-inventor on 57 patents, most of which are through nChain. nChain, if you guys remember, is the technology company, development company, more so behind Bitcoin Cash. So Dr. Craig Wright, Calvin Ayres, and I can't remember the other guy, the Asian guy. But anyways, they are the ones behind nChain. And so this guy is a big player in the patent space, in the technology space of blockchain itself. That should be a big indicator. Okay, it's starting to come together, right? It's starting to piece together in your mind. We've got an emerging platform that's growing leaps and bounds. They're about to get a load of money, and it's mostly going to be spent on marketing and development. They've got really big innovators behind them. Daniel is founder, CEO. You can go through his LinkedIn profile, and things you want to look at is just like, obviously, to make sure that their background is correct. You know, somebody who's really doing it out there has a load of endorsements and skill endorsements. That's not necessarily an easy thing to get, and you know, recommendations is another thing that I look at. But those are all variables that you look at. It's just kind of like the actual background of the people. I didn't mention this. PlayUp has been successfully running since 2014. Okay, so we got those two guys to look at. One pager is looking mint. Let's quickly go into the allocation, and then we'll cover a few more topics, okay? 55% of the ICO is going to go towards marketing, 30% towards development. This is key. And I'll say this again. There's a ton of people in crypto who would like, oh my God, why would you ever spend 40, 50% on marketing? That's how you know it's a scam. Well, if it's a brand new platform that doesn't even have anything developed yet, probably not the smartest idea to put 55% of the allocated resources into marketing when the fucking platform's not even built yet. But these guys having the platform built, it allows them to take over 80% of the allocation and put it towards the two now most important things to scale, which are marketing and brand awareness and the development of the platform itself. And I have a feeling we're gonna see Dr. Savannah creep up through here again and sprinkle his little magic fairy dust over some patents to help make the payment processing on this platform and throughout other platforms using this much easier. I don't know what exists to make that work right now, but I assume that they're going to want to make that much easier to integrate for the platform and obviously keep up with the user experience being easy and so on and so forth. So that is exciting from a development standpoint. And from a marketing standpoint, we look through YouTube, I combed through Google News. There's not a whole lot hitting on these guys yet, but they have all the pieces there. They've got all the beautifully polished PR pieces. They've got the Draper Award now. They're out there going to events. They're dominating in the Australian market, being seen on national television in a big way now. I don't think it's started to get out yet, which is why I was so urgent to get this out to you guys, is because if you want to get in on this, it's still dirt cheap, and a lot of people apparently haven't found out about this yet. But we'll start to see some big changes because what they're doing already with buying up these companies, which is not going to be cheap, and starting to win awards through doing and being the brand that a lot of people talk about and strive to be. Once they start allocating big budget towards marketing, we can make some assumptions is my point, right? So that's it. You can even do bank transfers, by the way, for the ICO. But yeah, the founding team has 30 years experience combined building interactive gaming experiences, both on the gamification side and the actual playing of a game. So the gamification piece is something that I didn't talk about, and I apologize, I should have laced that in the beginning, but it is something that I believe that they will really start to exceed in as well. And again, let's look for some of that magic fairy dust to be sprinkled on here with some of the patents that they will surely pick up with the gamification pieces. I'd love to know how many patents they have already on the gamification itself, but if they don't have any, I assume that's going to be, again, we can make some assumptions on what's going to happen there. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is this is so much of a sleeper that it's only got a 3.5 rating. I've seen awful, way bad ICOs get a good rating on ICO Bench. It just depends on the ratings, and honestly, I've heard some kind of concerning points recently about specifically this site and these ICO sites charging too much money to get good reviews from their inner team, so on and so forth, but it doesn't have any ratings yet. That's why it's not showing like a 4.5 or above, but it just kind of further proves that like this is a sleeper that's just nobody's really paying attention to. And I honestly think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's looked at to be in gambling, fantasy sports, online betting, and that is like shunned in America, and America is a big market. It's like foo-foo, you know, like nobody really wants to look at it. So are we dealing with a case of like a lot of people in the blockchains and crypto space not wanting to review this because they're not sure of what securities laws are looking like in America? They don't know that this company has all this history, been around since 2014, huge user base, already being actively traded in Australian stock exchange. What's really happening here? I don't know. Personally, I don't really care. There's only so much data you need to look at before you start to realize that this is a huge opportunity, absolute huge opportunity. So here's the slide deck, which covers everything that I just basically went over. And here's the look at the different platforms. All have different apps, all mobile friendly, tablet, browser based friendly. DraftStars acquisition, here's that, general acquisition. So that's their plan, which I think they've already got the history from 2014 running as a company, but they've got trackable data now from 2017 when they really got moving. These aren't out of whack. These growth curves here aren't out of whack at all. This is a real one, 100,000 users, boom, we acquired that right here. And this is what they're planning on. I think they're gonna be planning on some more acquisitions. But anyway, so let's talk about how you can buy this. It's very simple. You just go to the site. You just go to playchip.global. Probably have a tracker link underneath this video. I may or may not get affiliate commission for it. Just gonna let you know that up front. That helps us, you know, keep the lights on, keep the channel growing, and we really appreciate you checking out this review and, you know, co-supporting us by just clicking the link, allowing us to get some, you know, more chips in return, because they just pay everything out in chips for these affiliate gigs. But anyways, yeah, so you just come to this site, click on join now, you sign up. The KYC process is really, really easy. You want to read up on that in AML, but it is easy. Go ahead and do that. You can basically buy right away through a wide means: PayPal, credit card, bank transfer, or with cryptocurrency. Right now, you can buy with, I believe, it's going to be Bitcoin, Litecoin, ETH, and maybe Ripple. But yeah, so that's what's going on with this project. Oh, quickly talk about what I plan on doing. Accumulating at least a couple 100,000 coins, tokens, whatever you want to call them. I did similar with Trading Exchange earlier this year. If you guys remember that, Bankera, that already had an existing product, and that was one that I went bigger in on. They already had an existing product, an existing network and user base of 400,000, quickly grew to 600,000 users. So yeah, I accumulated over 100,000 coins of Bankera. I plan on doing even bigger in on this one. Yeah, at least a couple 100,000 coins to give you an idea of where I'm at with it. But I see that as being a smart choice. And then what's going to happen is once this launches out on exchanges in August, what I'll do is I'll wait, because I would assume they're going to sync up some good news with the launch, or the launch might just be good enough in and of itself. Let's see what this thing pumps up to in that first 24, 48 hours. I'm going to sell off some of my positions, and I'm going to hold on to some of my positions for the longer term. And what I'll be looking for is for them to integrate this Play wallet and the Play chip itself into more platforms and see that grow. It'll be interesting to see. I think I'll hold on to a majority of the coins up until over 1 million users to see what that starts looking like. A lot of this is new to me, so I don't know, and I don't have all the answers there. But to me, that's a significant mile marker to pay attention to and to keep an eye on. And especially if they get over that, which is what they're planning user-wise by the fourth quarter, it's going to be a good one to hold on to, okay? Because remember, they want 2 million projected users So if they get just over 1 million, I'm really going to start to pay attention and see what's going on with, see how the price action is reflected on the exchanges. Hopefully by then too, they'll be on more than just maybe HIT BTC and LA token, which I don't use, or LA token. I don't use that currently. But anyways, guys, that is this ICO review video, and that's kind of my plan with it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do want to get in, you got 9 days left for 30% bonus, and all the links to everything I just covered will be underneath this video. Place a like, place a comment, let me know what you think of this. You think it's amazing, you think it's utter garbage, that's great, want to hear from you. And be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on future videos that will be dropping to you very, very soon, my friends. See ya.